Welcome everyone to a new Bell's Basement episode. To celebrate Halloween today, we'll be taking a look at the most disturbing, terrifying songs of all time. According to our Rate Your Music list, that is. So this was a long Rate Your Music list that I found not too long ago, and considering the dedication that it has compared to other lists that I found, I think this will be a good place to base off a tier list. Of course, I'm not going to be ranking all of them because frankly there's clearly too many of them, so I'm just gonna stick to the top 20. I mean, are these really some of the most disturbing and creepy songs of all time? Well, I guess I'll be a judge to that. Yeah, for this case, I won't be ranking them based on how much I like them, more so on how scary they are. So yeah, let's not waste any more time, let's start with the list. To start off with the list, we have Hamburger Lady, which is not really a song at all, really more so an eerie and unsettling passage. I mean, how will I describe it? It's kind of like if you took a recording of a car on the road, you slowed it down and added like a really creepy vocal filter to it. And I guess there's synth melody to it as well. I don't know if it's really a synth melody, but still. So when it comes to songs that are eerie as this one, there's definitely some that are more disturbing and more frightening, but still I will say this is a decently creepy one that definitely does give the vibes and the textures well enough. This one will go in the B tier. Oh, Captain Beefheart song, that's an interesting choice. So, Penna is a song that I think it's good, but I don't really think it's scary at all, honestly. It's weird and incomprehensible, but really more so in a funny sort of way than in a scary sort of way. I mean, sure, a lot of the insanity of the song could be considered a little bit uncanny, but still, this is not really something that I will be frightened of. C tier. Now this is a good choice, Eraser. And I'm not just saying this because I think the song is great and it comes from a favorite album of mine. No, I think the song is really chilling. The song starts in kind of a strange way with Eraser sounds, and then the mechanical drums and riffs enter to the song, and that's when the song starts to add a lot of suspense and tension throughout most of it. And there is a part where it suddenly gets abrasive, like it really does add a lot of impact to it. Eraser is definitely one of the more frantic songs from the band, and considering the band has made a lot of frantic songs, I think that's definitely saying a lot. And honestly, if I were to rank the songs based on how much I like them, this will probably make it to the top 3. Like I said before, this song is amazing. This one goes in the A tier. I'm very much not surprised that there's not just one, but two Swans songs on the list, considering they've made plenty of eerie and rather disturbing tracks. And this song is definitely kind of terrifying, honestly. The song goes through a lot of sections, like it starts kind of in a weird manner and then it leads into this acoustic passage, with Michael Gira singing on it in a eerie but also kind of soft way. And well, then this happens. Is mine. Yeah, for the rest of the runtime, the song just corrupts on itself. Yeah, this is certainly a very overwhelming track. Wow, this one really is unsettling. Skinny Puppy are definitely one of the more strange industrial bands. And I mean that both in the good way, but also to emphasize just how odd a lot of their songs can be. With most Skinny Puppy songs, you're kind of in the illusion where you cannot really grasp what's going on, but I don't think the case is more prominent than it is in here. It's like very mechanical, yet very haunting with just how much there's going on. Oh, and fun fact, the song also has an Exorcist sample. So yeah, part of what makes Skinny Puppy unique is also part of what makes Skinny Puppy, well, terrifying, especially on this song, which is the most terrifying Skinny Puppy song that I've heard so far. This one will go in the S tier, like this is the most unsettling song that I've heard so far. I mean, this one is scary enough. I don't think it's as scary as the other Swans song that I talk about, but still, the instruments are pretty unclear and the agony from the vocals do elevate it to be a pretty tense track at the very least. It's a bit here. The Haunting Presence. You know, I think this song does live up to its name. The song does indeed start in a very haunting manner. It's isolated, it's depressive, and it does send me chills with its very reverby vocals. Reverb, is that even a word? But it really does start to get more overwhelming later on in the second half, with all of these elements just clashing together into this incoherent wall of sounds that just downright unsettle you. The Haunting Presence is definitely a very atmospheric track with just how chilling and yeah, haunting it is. Like I said, the name really does live up to its name. I was going to give this song the A tier, but the more I think about it, the more the song from start to finish really does keep that tone throughout. Honestly, I'll give it the S tier.
So he felt he had to prove to everyone he was evil, a feeble-minded young man with infinite potential.
Our first hip-hop song on the list, and now that I think about it, this is also the first hip-hop song that I'll be talking about in this channel. So yeah, congratulations Immortal Technique for being the first hip-hop artist to be featured in my channel. Dance with the Devil is a song that I actually knew about before, and I remember thinking it was disturbing back in the day, and yeah, I still think the song is disturbing, mainly because of the story. So this is the story of William, who aspires to be a hustler and fit in with the rest of the gang. The song progresses from him robbing and setting up fights to eventually raping a woman, which is where the tragic twist comes up. He realizes that it was his mother who he was raping, so as the song says, his whole world stops, and of course he felt lonely and scared, realizing what he's done, so he ends up killing himself. Yeah, this song is extremely disturbing, with showcasing the realities and disturbing outcomes that can happen. It's also worth noting that this song also has a lot of great lines as well. So, you know, with all of that in mind, this song will be in S tier, right? Well, here's one problem, the last 2 minutes. So the story does end on the 7-minute mark, but surprise surprise, no, there's still 2 minutes left. Like, it's not even terrible, it just doesn't really add anything to the song. If anything, it just kind of takes you out of it. Not just on how good it is, but also it takes you out on how disturbing it is. But it's still a very disturbing song, and I'll still give it the A tier.
How could you let him sleep in our bed? Look at Kim! Look at your husband now! I said look at him!
And we have another song from another hip-hop artist, this time being Eminem. This song is,
You were supposed to love me! Now please, bitch, please!
very aggressive to say the least. This song is essentially about Eminem going into a rampage because Kim left him, so you know, he ends up killing her. Yeah, this song is just pure insanity from start to finish. And even if the song is cheesy and even intentionally funny at times, it's otherwise an unhinged, abrasive and just downright enraged song that just takes it very far without any hesitation. A tier. This one is kind of like Hamburger Lady, where it's not really a song, but it's still very creepy and eerie. I mean, it seems like a very B tier song, but the thing that puts this one in the A tier is, well, the guy's voice and the radio sample. That just sounds very hopeless and miserable. I don't know, it definitely makes me very uneasy. This one is barely an A tier, but you know what, I'd still put it in the A tier. This is definitely the most weird and even experimental one so far. I'll just describe it to you and you'll get the idea. There are a lot of parts where you go from like one really drawn out and intense round to, well, a Mexican girl just speaking. Yeah, throughout the whole 24-minute song, Jesus. You'll have shit like that just happening like all the time. The song is, again, so weird in how haunting and creepy it is that I feel like you'll need to listen to it by yourself to fully grasp it. Yes, even if it's 24 minutes, but hey, it is what it is.
Little child.
the last song from Korn's debut album that talks about child abuse. And no, it's not about Jonathan's dad, it's actually based on someone else that molested him. And yes, it's actually a true story. This is far and away the most disturbing Korn song, not just because again it's based on real events, but also because, well, there's a lot of elements that pretty much confirm it. Not only there's the theme of the song, and not only there's the anger, which is very wicked and harsh, but there's the ending, which is what puts it in the A tier, even very close to the S tier. There's the emotional breakdown, which at the very least in my experience, it feels very realistic. And then there's a crying, which was actually accidentally recorded. As in, the band members had no idea it was being recorded while, well, Jonathan was having a moment. It's pretty fucked up, and the reason why this is not in the S tier is because the last two sections and what came before, I think there's kind of a difference in how disturbing they are. The first part is still relatively disturbing, I just think there's kind of a difference between the two when it comes to how disturbing they are.
Frankie Teardrop.
Frankie Teardrop, this one's a classic. So you have a song where the beat is the same throughout the whole track and the beat itself doesn't even feel like an ordinary music beat. Then you have the vocals, which are also very disturbing and unnerving. Yeah, the whole song is just unnerving and it lasts for a pretty long time. It is not extremely disturbing like the whole way through, but it does the insanity in a pretty effective way and I get chills from the screaming. It is definitely A tier worthy. There's one thing that stands out about Slugbait, even compared to most of these songs, and that's the lyrics. They're not the most devastating lyrics out there, but they are definitely the most fucked up and graphic. Like, it seems like every single horrible thought in the world just culminated into one piece. And the instrumental part of the song is also weird because, well, it's not really an instrumental, it's just sound collage that it's adding into its unsettling nature. And the fact that it's live, well, it makes it even more uncanny. Yeah, everything about this song is very creepy. I think it deserves to be in the S tier, honestly. Well, we're going back to the C tier for this one, because Hey is not really all that creepy. It's somewhat creepy and it's really hard to tell what's going on, but it just ends too soon to leave an impact. And when it comes to convoluted songs where you don't really know what's going on in its type of horror genre, well, Born with Water just does it much better. Honestly, I don't know what you can say about this one. I mean, it's drony, it's very demented, it's low-key yet very frightening. The lyrics are also something else. Honestly, this song, not just this song, but the whole album, actually listened to the whole album before. It's pretty terrifying shit. Not quite the S tier, but I'll still put it in the A tier. Well, this is it. I guess spoilers for the remaining two songs afterwards, but this is the scariest song on the whole list. Like, what the fuck did I just listen to? I mean, it was already A tier material before the jump scare, but that jump scare and the rest of the song, it's just brutal, noisy shit, like some of the most brutal, noisy shit you'll ever hear. A scream that's just one of the most demented that I've ever heard, and the very ear-piercing noise, it's just all fucked up shit. And yeah, the first part as well, which what appears to be kind of like a beat melody with like a drone and a lot of noise in the background. It's very creepy. Hey, it's Merzbow. So, Slave New Desire is actually a song that manages to be creepy because unlike other Merzbow songs, it actually has kind of a layer to its sound. There's just so much harsh noise shit just crushed together that creates kind of an instant sense of corruption. Yeah, the whole song is literally just, well, something that sounds corrupted. Like, not even in a music form, just literally corrupted. Alright. We're now at the end of the list. Let's get to what this list considers to be the scariest song of all time. And it's from an artist we've seen Yeah, you know what, I actually understand this being the scariest song of all time to one person. As that for mine, I still think that Rattler's Echo and even that Skinny Puppy song is more scary, but hey, I mean, this one is very terrifying. The song from start to finish just sounds like, well, the equivalent to hell. The soundscapes are very noisy and whispery, the vocal samples are incomprehensible and very buried down, and the whole song is just wicked to the core. It just sounds like something that you will hear in a deep, dark forest. Yeah, when it comes to how wicked this song is, there's just not a single second wasted. And again, even though I don't think it's the scariest song of all time, I'll put it in the S tier because I think it really is up there. So now that we talked about every single song on the list, at the very least in the top 20, time to ask the question, are these songs some of the most terrifying music out there? I mean, I don't know, probably not. There's probably like a lot of obscure music out there that sounds like the stuff that we just talked about. Happy Halloween!